He's in here, said Mr. Cass.
No, he ain't.
Yes, he is. He's waiting for me.
Fast asleep.
Welcome to Fast Asleep with Gina Marie, where every week we actively preserve classic short stories, one story at a time. Well, that's a lie. We do 2 stories once in a while. Anyway, hello everybody. I'm Gina, and I am here with, how would you describe him? The ever-patient engineer Bob. Oh, and the mysterious Marie. And we are so glad you're here. You know what else I'm glad about? My neighbor's dog right now is not continuously barking. And now I have just jinxed myself, haven't I? Okay, listen. Don't get me wrong. I love dogs. We have a beautiful, nearly 12-year-old Husky Shepherd mix. We rescued her when she was about a year old. And you know what? She knows how to stop barking when we ask her to. Most of the time. Okay. Enough complaining. But if you'd like to complain, I'm here. It's only fair. How about today's author? It's F. Scott Fitzgerald. Yep, The Great Gatsby, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. That's him. Francis Scott Key Fitzgerald. Nope, he did not compose our national anthem, but he was named after the man who did, and he was his distant cousin. What a life this man led, from love and great success to real tragedy. Fitzgerald was born in St. Paul, Minnesota, born in 1896. His father was an unsuccessful furniture salesman. His mother was an Irish immigrant with a large inheritance. Now, this allowed the family to live an upper-middle-class life. Fitzgerald wrote well-received detective stories for his high school newspaper. And he went on to attend Princeton University, but he dropped out to join the Army. He never gave up his writing. He wrote magazine articles and lyrics for musicals. At age 21, he wrote his first novel. Okay, it was rejected by the publisher, but that same publisher gave him some wonderful praise and suggestions for his rewrite. It was during his time in the Army, while stationed in Alabama, that Fitzgerald, Northerner Fitzgerald, met and instantly fell in love with a beautiful 18-year-old Southern belle, the also legendary Zelda. Now, Zelda could not be convinced to marry our budding author until he could properly afford her. It wasn't until after Scribner and Sons finally agreed to publish his first novel. Well, it was after 3 novels. Sorry, rewrites. And that novel was entitled This Side of Paradise. Well, it wasn't until after that, and after he was suddenly famous and rich, that Zelda agreed to become his wife. Let me tell you, this couple knew how to enjoy a lavish lifestyle. I could go on and on about it. I already am, I know. But I'll cut it short. Scott turned out one great work after another to support that lifestyle, but that only worked to a point. He became an alcoholic, and Zelda struggled with physical and mental illness. She died in 1930 in a hospital fire. It was years before Fitzgerald recovered enough to write again. In 1937, he did, and he began writing for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer in Hollywood. Oh, life greatly improved for him then. He even fell in love again. He had just started a new novel when he had a heart attack and died in 1940 at age 44. While living, Fitzgerald's work did not bring him the recognition and accolades that he would get later after his death. F. Scott Fitzgerald is now recognized as one of the greatest American writers of the 20th century, and he has been credited by many with significantly pushing American literature forward. Today's story was published in 1937, just as he was returning to writing. So, tuck in, everybody, for F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Guest in Room 19. Mr. Cass knew he couldn't go to sleep, so he put his tie on again and went back to the lobby. Oh, the guests were all gone to bed, but a little aura of activity seemed to linger about a half-finished picture puzzle, and the night watchman was putting a log on the fire. Mr. Cass limped slowly across the soft carpet, stopped behind him, and grunted.
Heavy? Huh? 100 pound.
The watchman, a wiry old mountaineer, looked around sharply.
It's wet, and it'll be 1 o'clock before it's burning good.
Mr. Cass let himself into a chair. Last year, he had been active, driving his own car. But he had suffered a stroke before coming south last month. And now life was like waiting for an unwelcome train. He was very lonely. The watchman built burning chunks about the wet log.
I thought she was somebody else when you came in,
he said. Who did you think I was?
Well, I thought you was the fellow who's always coming in late. First night I was on duty, he came in at 2 without any noise. Give me a start. Every night he comes in late.
After a pause, Mr. Cass asked, Well, what's his name?
Why, I never did ask him his name.
Another pause. The fire leapt into a premature, short-lived glow. Well, how do you know he's a guest here?
Oh, he's a guest here.
But the watchman considered the matter for the first time.
I hear him go down the corridor and around the corner, and then I hear his door shut.
He may be a burglar, said Mr. Cass.
Oh, he's no burglar. He said he'd been coming here for a long time.
Well, did he tell you he wasn't a burglar? The watchman laughed.
Now, I never asked him that.
The log slipped, and the old man adjusted it. Mr. Cass envied his strength. It seemed to him that if he had strength, he could run out of here, hurry along the roads of the world, the roads that led back, and not sit waiting. Almost every evening he played bridge with the two clerks. And one night, last week, he simply passed away during a bridge hand, shrinking up through space, up through the ceilings like a wisp of smoke, looking back, looking down at his body hunched at the table, his white fist clutching the cards. He heard the bids and his own voice speaking, and then the two clerks were helping him into his room, and one of them sat with him till the doctor came. After a while, Mr. Cass had to go to the bathroom, and he decided to go to the public one. It took him some time, and when he came back to the lobby, the watchman said,
"Well, that fella, he came in late again. I found out. He's in number 19.
"What's his name?"
I didn't like to ask him that. I knew I could find out from his number."
Mr. Cass sat down. "I'm number 18, he said. "I thought there was just some women next to me." The watchman went behind the desk to the mail rack. After a moment, he reported,
"Well, funny thing. His box ain't here. There's number 18, that's Mr. Cass.
"Well, that's me."
And the next one is 20 on the second floor. Oh, I must have heard him wrong.
"I told you he was a burglar. What did he look like?"
Well, now, he wasn't an old man, and he wasn't a young man. He seemed like he'd been sick, and he had little holes all over his face."
Despite its inadequacy, the description somehow conjured up a picture for Mr. Cass. His partner, John Canisius, had never looked old or young, and he had little holes in his face. Suddenly, Mr. Cass felt the same sensation stealing over him that he had felt the other night. Dimly, he was aware that the watchman had gone to the door, and dimly, he heard his own voice saying, "Oh, leave it open." And then the cold air swept in, and his spirit left him and romped around the room with it. He saw John Canisius come in the open door and look at him, and advance toward him, and then realized it was the watchman, pouring a paper cup of water into his mouth and spilling it on his collar.
"Thanks. Feel all right now?"
"Did I faint?"
he muttered. "Oh, you fell over. Kind of funny. I reckon I'd better help you get back to your room."
At the door of number 18, Mr. Cass halted and pointed his cane at the room next door. "Now, what's that number?"
17. And that one, without a number, is the manager's rooms. There ain't any 19.
"Do you think I'd better go in?"
Oh, sure thing.
The watchman lowered his voice.
Oh, now if you're thinking about that fella, I must have heard him wrong. I can't go looking for him tonight.
He's in here, said Mr. Cass.
No, he ain't.
Yes, he is. He's waiting for me. Stay with me. I'll be right back. He's in here, said Mr. Cass.
No, he ain't.
Yes, he is. He's waiting for me.
Oh, shucks. I'll go in with you.
He opened the door, turned on the light, and took a quick look around.
You see? There ain't nobody here.
Mr. Cass slept well, and the next day was full spring. So he decided to go out. It took him a long time to walk down the hill from the hotel, and his progress across the double tracks took a good 3 minutes and attracted solicitous attention. But it was practically a country stroll compared to his negotiation of the highway, which was accompanied by a great caterwauling of horns and screech of brakes, a welcoming committee waiting for him on the curb helped him into the drugstore where, exhausted by his adventure, he called a taxi to go home. Because of this, he fell asleep while undressing, and waking at 12, felt dismal and oppressed. Finding it difficult to rise, he rang, and the night watchman answered the bell.
Glad to help you, Mr. Cass, if you'll wait just 5 minutes. It's turned cold again, and I want to get in a big log of wood.
Oh, said Mr. Cass, and then, has the guest come in yet?
Well, he got in just now.
Did you ask him if he's a burglar?
Oh, he's no burglar, Mr. Cass. He's a nice fella. He's going to help me with this big log. I'll be right back.
Did he say what room? But the watchman was gone, and Mr. Cass could only wait. He waited 5 minutes. He waited 10. Then he gradually realized that the watchman was not coming back. It was plain that the watchman had been sent for. Everyone tried to keep distressing things from Mr. Cass, and it was not until the following evening that he heard what had happened from some whispering at the desk. The man had collapsed, trying to lift a log too heavy for him. Mr. Cass said nothing because he knew that old people have to be careful what they say. Only he knew the watchman had not been alone. After Easter, the hotel's short season faded out, and it was not worthwhile to hire a new watchman. But Mr. Cass continued to have lonely nights, and often he sat in the lobby after the other guests went to bed. One April night, he dozed there for a while, awakening to find that it was after 2, and he was not alone in the lobby. The current of cooler air might have roused him, for a man he did not know had just come in the door. The man was of no special age, but even by the single light left burning, Mr. Cass could see that he was a pale man, that there were little holes in his face, like the ravages of some disease, and he did not look like John Canisius, his partner.
"Good evening,"
said the stranger. Said Mr. Cass. And then, as the man turned down the corridor, he spoke up in a strong voice. "You're out late."
"Yes, quite late."
"You a guest here?"
"Yes."
Mr. Cass dragged himself to his feet and stood leaning on his cane. "I suppose you live in room 19, he said.
"As it happens, I do."
"You needn't lie to me," said Mr. Cass. "I'm not an ignorant mountaineer. Are you a burglar? Or did you come for someone?" The man's face seemed to grow even whiter.
"Oh, I don't understand you," he said.
"In any case, I want you to get out of here," said Mr. Cass. He was growing angry, and it gave him a certain strength. "Otherwise, I'm going to arouse the hotel." The stranger hesitated.
There's no need of doing that,"
he said quietly.
"That would be..."
Mr. Cass raised his cane menacingly, held it up a moment, then let it down slowly.
"Wait a minute," he said. "I may want you to do something for me." "What is it?" "It's getting cold in here. I want you to help me bring in a log to put on the fire." The stranger was startled by the request. "Are you strong enough?" he asked. "Well, of course I'm strong enough." Mr. Cass stood very upright, throwing back his shoulders. I can get it alone." "No, you can't. You help me, or I'll arouse the house." They went out and down the back steps, Mr. Cass refusing the stranger's arm. He found, in fact, that he could walk much better than he thought, and he left his cane by the stoop so that both hands were free for the log. It was dark in the woodshed, and the stranger lit a match. There was only one log, but it was over 100 pounds, quite big enough to amply fill the small fireplace. "Hadn't I better do this?" said the stranger. Mr. Cass did not answer, but bent and put his hands on the rough surface. The touch seemed to stimulate him. He felt no pain or strain in his back at all. "You catch hold there," he ordered. "Are you sure? Catch hold." Mr. Cass took a long breath of cool air into his lungs and shifted his hands on the log. His arms tightened, then his shoulders and the muscles on his back. "Lift," he grunted. And suddenly the log moved, came up with him as he straightened, and for a triumphant moment he stood there squarely, cradling it against him. Then out into space he went, very slowly, carrying the log which seemed lighter and lighter, seeming to melt away in his arms. He wanted to call back some word of mockery and derision to the stranger, but he was already too far away, out on the old roads that led back where he wished to be. Everyone in the hotel was sorry to lose Mr. Cass, the manager especially, for he read the open letter on Mr. Cass's desk, saying that no further money could be remitted that year. "Oh, what a shame. He's been here so many years that we'd have been glad to carry him a while until he made arrangements." Mr. Cass was the right sort of client. It was because of such guests that the manager had tried to keep his brother out of sight all winter. The brother, a tough number, was considerably shaken by what had happened. Oh, That's what I get for trying to be a help, he said. I should have known better. Both those old guys looked exactly like death itself to me.
Introduction information for this episode comes from PBS Biographies and an article entitled F. Scott Fitzgerald and the American Dream, and other sources in our show notes. Music for today is Scene Change from Michel Nobler. Belonging from Muted, and Cold from Vortex. Contact us right here in comments or email us at fastasleepwithginamarie44@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on TikTok. We'd love to hear from you. We thank you for taking the time to review us and to comment and to like, and thank you for your subscriptions. And thank you for listening. Keyword: roads. Next week, Truman Capote. Good night.